Damian Green and David Davis meeting representatives from the devolved nations on Brexit Photo PA Ch. Green 5 hours Monday, October 16, 2017. Scotland and Wales have reached an agreement with the UK government on the general principles of how powers will be returned from the EU, but have repeated their warnings of a potential power grab by Westminster. Representatives from the devolved nations met First Secretary of State Damian Green and Brexit Secretary David Davis to discuss the EU withdrawal bill, which will repatriate thousands of laws from Brussels back to the UK. I think you will see from principles that we have agreed today that talk of a power grab is now behind us. Damian Green. Following the meeting of the Joint Ministerial Committee JMC, Mr. Green said the constructive talks had led to agreement over a set of principles that will underpin this process, ensuring that the UK's internal market is not damaged by Brexit. However, his claim that talk of a power grab is now behind us was immediately rejected by the Scottish and Welsh governments, who said they would still be unable to support the legislation unless it was substantially changed. The two nations object to the bill as it will result in some responsibilities that would usually be devolved being handled by Westminster, a situation the government says is necessary to avoid damaging the UK's internal market. Last month, Scotland's First Minister Nicola Sturgeon and her Welsh counterpart Carwyn Jones wrote to Theresa May demanding that the legislation is changed and setting out 38 amendments. Power grab. After the meeting in London, Mr. Green said, I think you will see from principles that we have agreed today that talk of a power grab is now behind us. We've agreed that obviously there need to be ways in which we preserve the UK single market so we don't damage businesses in Scotland or Wales or Northern Ireland. But also that we fully respect the devolution settlements, that we expect this to end with more powers going to the devolved administrations than they have had under the previous arrangement. However, Scottish Brexit Minister Michael Russell and Welsh Finance Secretary Mark Drakeford said the agreement did not mean that they were dropping their objections to the bill. We remain unable to recommend the Scottish Parliament consent to the EU withdrawal bill as currently drafted and will not be able to do so until the power grab is removed, Mr. Russell said. Although he welcomed the government's suggestion of holding another JMC meeting before Christmas, he was critical of the UK's overall approach to the talks in Brussels. I have made clear that no deal is not an option that the Scottish government can or ever will support, he said. We know from businesses in Scotland that a hard Brexit will cause serious and long-term economic damage, and it is crucial we stay in the single market and customs union. Mr. Drakeford added, we agreed the principles that will underline any frameworks, but that doesn't mean that we have stepped back at all from our opposition to the withdrawal bill. In news http://cinews.co.uk